The reality is that these excuses are not going to work in Shamayim. Hashem is going to give you a certain amount of time in this world. 40, 50, 70, 100 years, whatever it is. During that time He allotted you, He's going to give you a number of opportunities to see the truth and do tshuva. To see that there's an opening to that jail cell and you can get out even though you're really a criminal that deserves death penalty. You don't take advantage of it? Rabbi Avraham Azura says you have no idea. You have no idea how heavy the judgment is. You have no idea how painful the judgment is going to be. You have no idea what you're doing to yourself. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Don't you at least love yourself somewhat? You don't even have to fall in love with yourself, just a little bit, to do tshuva. Why? Look at anyone that doesn't. They have a miserable life anyway. What are you looking up to? What is there to look up? Give me one person that's a happy person without God. One person. It doesn't exist. Trust me, I was in the business with clients that were billionaires. One after another is more miserable than the other. Without a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you simply have a miserable, purposeless life. And when a person does not understand this, he's torturing himself. Now, unfortunately, at times, a person thinks that he's already done enough. He's done enough tshuva. And he thinks of himself, he's like, oh listen, Rabbi, I'm okay now. I keep Shabbat, I learn a little bit in the morning, I give tzedakah whenever I get a chance. I'm okay, Rabbi. Tshuva is not for me, I'm done. I'm gonna go to higher level. When he thinks that there is a higher level than tshuva, we already have a very serious reason of why he needs to do tshuva. Because he's wrong. If we would have done tshuva every day and get to a point where we're starting to think, how am I going to affect the world by my next click? If we don't think that way, our tshuva hasn't begun yet. The key is, Rabotai, to understand that when a person is doing tshuva, he's going to analyze everything. And not just the obvious, but everything.
Some of the speakers today, even here in America, when they ask them hard questions, right away they modify the Torah. As soon as it comes to their chair and their name, they sell Hashem immediately. I'll give you an example. There's this lunatic clown that I've been warning from all the time, so they ask him about the death penalty of the Torah. Right away, guess what he said? No, the Torah was not serious about it. Hashem has no intention to execute anyone. 3,300 years of executions non-stop, non-stop problems, non-stop diseases, Holocaust and pogroms, and this fool comes and say, oh, I don't have to pay attention to it. There's really no death penalty. No one ever should be worried, not Mechalelei Shabbat, not gays. In one sentence, destroy the whole Torah with his long beard. What do you think the wicked people think? Great. Why did Hashem put so many warnings in the Torah? He wants all the wicked people to live with fear. Because fear can help them to do tshuva. They don't want to be religious, but out of fear they will start, and eventually out of love. But this fool should have known that the Gemara already said the four formats of execution did not get cancelled. Even though there's no Sanhedrin, God Himself replaced the 4 methods of execution with His own execution. Someone that deserves stoning, a tree fall on him, or he fall from a ladder. And someone that deserves choking, drown in a lake. And someone that deserves burning, get burned in a specific way. And someone that deserves a sword, get stabbed by a sword, in our days is a gunshot, or all kinds of other things. Meaning, yes, there's no Sanhedrin, there's no execution, but Hashem sees who deserves execution, and when the time comes, He executes the people exactly like what they deserve.
The Reshaim decided to break into the house. The Lithuanian Nazis busted into the house, shot some shots into the air to get everybody's attention, scared everybody to death, and started laughing, saying, "We know that you were trying to organize a rebellion and go to Palestine," meaning go to Israel, "but we caught you and you won't get away with it." And they asked all the men to line up. All of these Gdoledo, one giant after another, one Sefer Torah after another. One of them, Rav Wasserman, they put him at the head. Now, as they're laughing and enjoying themselves, these Reshaim Arurim, the Rav Wasserman turns around without skipping a beat, without being scared, without thinking of anyone being next to the other, different than the other. His own son was there. He didn't even say goodbye to him, but he knew this is the last time he's going to be able to talk to people. And he says the following: heaven apparently considers us tzaddikim, righteous people, for it wants us to atone with our bodies for Jewry as a whole. So we must do teshuvah now, on the spot. Time is short. The 9th fort is near. We must make up our minds that we truly wish to sanctify Kadosh Baruch Hu's name. If we do teshuvah, we will thereby save the remaining Jews, our brothers and sisters, so that they will be able to carry on as the remnant of Jewry. Let us walk with our heads held high. Let no one think a thought that would disqualify his sacrifice. We're about to fulfill the greatest mitzvah, the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. The fire that consumes our body is the fire that will rebuild the Jewish people. He was talking about all of the Jews, because he, his son, and the other group of giant Chachamim are now chosen by a Kadosh Baruch Hu to become the Korban. If a person knows the Emet, lives for the Emet, only cares about the Emet, naturally he's going to have a fight constantly with the shekel, with the lies. Why? Because it's everywhere. Hence the reason of why the Chachamim call this entire world Alma de Shikra.